Hello everybody, my name is Pravus and welcome back to more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Found a scenario that's relatively new, I think, that sounded kind of interesting. It's a very short description, but the title alone sounds pretty good. Mind of the Phantom. Doesn't that sound exciting? By unique username _1024, because all the previous unique usernames were taken up. You died unwanted and alone. Now you've risen from the dead as the architect of a hive mind bent on revenge. How? Magic? I don't know. You're ready to destroy the world. All right, sounds good. It's actually a prion, though. Not the Nurex worm that I think I was expecting. Catalytic switch, genetic mimic, aquastatic streamophile, and transstasis all should be fine. No, let's not do the mega brutal. I have no idea. The hive mind. Welcome to the afterlife. You know, this is making me think about a game that I've been watching other people play recently called Hades. It looks really good, and it's got amazingly good reviews. I'm gonna have to play that on the channel at some point. So this is the afterlife, not the underworld, but that just got my brain thinking. This is the afterlife. You don't have a physical form, but you can still influence people. As you get stronger, you will be able to control more people at once. You are difficult to cure, but you are slow to kill. How do you kill that which is already dead? Riddle me this. All right, where do we want to go? Well, tell you what. Let's start in Egypt. It's been a while since we started in Egypt, and I think we'll be a ancient pharaoh mummy thingy. I don't know. I don't know anything I'm talking about. Transmissions. What do we got? Birdwatcher makes host interested in how things fly. Increases air transmission. Swimmer. Host takes a sudden interest in swimming and boats, increasing sea transmission. Yeah, I have hive mind supernatural abilities. And the first thing I do is make people want to go and have the very therapeutic experience of watching birds and the exercise of swimming. Man, I'm a dastardly hive mind, aren't I? Absolutely. Conversational. Oh, and they're going to become extroverted and actually build relationships. Gosh, am I not fixing humanity at this point? Host becomes more interested in talking to others, increasing infectivity, more effective in the urban areas. Though it doesn't actually seem to have any meaningful impact in the infectivity down here, so that's a stat missing. Hiker, again, exercise. Host starts to enjoy going for hikes and will seek out good hiking places around the world, increasing land transmission. And finally, sexually transmittable. The hive mind is able to pass from person to person as an STD. Oh, that's good. Okay, that one finally is gross. Finally. The rest of these actually sound pretty beneficial for the host, so I'm not entirely sure I'm malevolent by the end of this. Physical vulnerability. Wait, isn't that counteractive to the exercise of the swimming and the hiking? As you begin to possess the person more fully, the mind pays less attention to physical needs. This results in a wide variety of symptoms. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. A bit of severity, but some infectivity, only costs 1 DNA. Mental vulnerability. As you begin to possess the person more fully, the mind begins to have less stability. And then it also doesn't pay attention to the physical needs. Basically, your mind sucks as it continues to be subjected by the hive mind. This results in another wide variety of symptoms. For our abilities, we start with Possession 1. Hive mind is able to influence the hosts, unlocking a variety of abilities. That leads to cultism. The host begins to form a cult. Well, we obviously have to go down that route. Religious fear. Hive mind becomes more resistant to the church. Oh, because we're a spiritual thingy, like the dead, rising, afterlife, hive mind infecting people with mass possession, we're gonna be exorcised. Got it. Okay, personality scan. Hive mind better blends in with personality, decreases exorcism. There we go. Research speed. There we go. That's kind of cool, actually. So research isn't a cure exactly. It's exorcising the spirit. Yeah, okay. Well, unfortunately, we seem to be infecting the world right around the time that millions of people had started playing this game called Phasmophobia, so I'm pretty sure everyone's a little bit better at figuring out how to detect and isolate and eventually exorcise spirits. Great. Let's go for the mental vulnerability. Oh, wait, no, no, that was lethal. I didn't mean to pick that up, actually. Lethality is not good at all. I didn't even notice that when I figured there's no way you have to worry about lethality in one of the first symptoms. Yikes, dude. Okay, so that's just more severity. This is a little bit of infectivity as well as severity, so we'll pick this one up. Tremors. Host begins to have tremors, especially in their hands and feet. Work becomes more difficult, making exorcism research harder to conduct. We also have food allergies. As the physical vulnerabilities become profound, the digestive system of the body worsens. It becomes unable to process some foods, like a gluten allergy or something. I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. I'm saying I don't know a lot. Every once in a while, I find when I am recording in some recording session, there's like a particular phrase or a word I will say repeatedly, and today apparently it's I don't know. I can't say I understand why. You could even say I don't know. I don't know. Well, whatever. We're going to be going for Bird Watcher because air transmission in Egypt still does make sense. It is an arid country after all. But we also want to get the water transmission because Egypt is one of the few countries in the world that has 2 ports. So that's 2 different vectors of getting out of the country into different locations. Still not quite as good as 1 airport out of Saudi Arabia, but it's not too bad. And also, Egypt being located where it is, we might be able to pop over there relatively quickly. That said, I'm also gaining DNA a little on the slow side, so I'm not thrilled about that. More air transmission, but no infectivity? Yikes. Do we like that? Land transmission probably will work well for me. I want to get out of these areas and start spreading into neighboring countries. We have enough severity that I should be getting a reasonably good amount of DNA, but we could probably improve that if we get the food allergies. So let's do exactly that. Got into the US of A, spreading a bit more through Africa. Specialized diet. As the ability of the digestive system continues to break down, the body becomes unable to break down the most proteins. Can be fatal, especially in poor countries. I'm not sure why my brain got hiccuped on that moment, but it did. Then we have inability to walk. Host becomes unable to support their own legs, leading to the need for an aid, increasing infectivity and severity. Fine by me, as long as we don't get more lethality. Now, because we have some lethality, I do have to be somewhat cautious about getting my severity too much higher, because otherwise we're going to have problems getting into places like, I don't know, Greenland. Let's see. Irritation. Host becomes frustrated by others more easily, increasing effectiveness in urban areas. Anxiety for the poor countries. I can't say that either of those sound especially beneficial, though. Let's go for some extra spread in the wealthy countries. Now, here's a weird irony, right? So, we're actually trying to spread more aggressively in the rich countries to avoid an exorcism, but there's a lot of data that shows that the wealthier a country gets, the less religious overall the population becomes, which is an interesting inversion. But there is that. So, theoretically speaking, the wealthy countries are probably the ones we shouldn't really have that much to worry about. But I don't know, maybe they'll use their science in some way. Cultism. It's a little expensive for not an absolute ton of benefit. Do we want to go for the STD thing? I don't know about that. Let's go for conversational because urban can be good. That's more severity. I don't want that. Let's go for aquatic enthusiast to go for more boat transmission or something along that line. I mean, it's not even humid transmission. It's just boat transmission, so it's not the most beneficial thing. There's not a lot of ways of increasing infectivity, it turns out. Like, a lot of these just kind of die off. Then you get to sea captain, and all of a sudden, hey, look, the infectivity that I so desperately craved. What do you know? It's back. So, I mean, it's kind of okay. Now, do remember, of course, with the Prion that all different symptoms and transmissions and abilities have a delayed impact before they fully take effect. It kind of scales up, so the timing of everything gets a little bit messed up. Let's go for flight school. We'll go ahead and increase that infectivity a bit more. We're going to go for mountaineer and then international sightseer. So we have lots of land transmission. That leads to gallivanter. We're a gallivanter. Got it. Host takes an interest in all kinds of travel and wants to see the world, increasing land, sea, and air transmission. Well, honestly, at this point, though, with 3 levels of the others, I feel like we've probably got plenty. That's not going to be the issue. So let's go ahead and grab some more religious fear. Right, we're going to try to avoid them exorcisms in the wealthy countries, because right now we're not spreading very rapidly in those, and I'm highly concerned about the fact that I don't see any form of cold or heat resistance. Not, that I think that every scenario needs to have them. It's good to see that once in a while they don't follow the form of having our standard cold, heat, and drug transmission, but in this case, it might lead to a balance issue. I have no idea. Let's go and grab irritation. That leads to anger, which leads to hate, which leads to suffering. Let's see. Slowing down the exorcism better in the urban countries actually works well for some of those rich areas in, let's say, Europe and the US. Doesn't help me a lot in places like Canada, which I'm a bit concerned about, but we'll do the best we can. Norway is wealthy and urban, so Norway might be my ticket to get into Greenland. Greenland is the only island we are currently missing, so I think I really have to hope that Norway works well for me. Rage! It does lead to hate. Okay. Anxiety for the poor countries? I guess we can. That leads to paranoia. That's a bit too much severity, though. No, I didn't mean to pick up seizures. All right, well, we got more fatality. Paralysis, severe vitamin deficiency. Due to a very specialized diet of nothing but peanut butter and bananas. It's not what it says, but I like to envision that's the case. The body lacks necessary vitamins. Can be lethal, especially in the poor countries. Yeah, I don't want that much lethality. That sounds terrible. Let's go for cultism. That leads to level 1 there. Yeah, okay, cult becomes more widespread, causing governments to crack down. Cult members are subjected to the death penalty, lots of lethality as well as infectivity and some severity. Stuff that basically doesn't help me too much. I'm a little concerned we have too much severity and lethality, and we're going to find that Greenland shuts down right about now. I'm also concerned that we are not spreading very rapidly in places like Canada while they work on that cure. Russia executes their people, but just as Norway closed down their port, they sent one last boat over into Greenland. That means the Baltic states are the only ones that have so far not been infected. Beautimus. All right, let's go for cultism level 2. We could go for even more with cultism 3, which slows down that cure, which is something I really do need. We don't want too much lethality because I still need to be able to spread. I'm highly concerned that once again we find ourselves in a weird situation where Greenland is not spreading and it lost them. Oh wait, no, the cure just finished. Holy crap, that came out of freaking nowhere. Whoa! Last I saw, it was down like the 30s. What? Jeez, what the heck happened? Okay, hang on. Let's do some camouflage, personality, and just try to reset this a second. 95% complete. It's going up pretty darn fast, but it doesn't matter because we lost Greenland. So yeah, way too much severity early on. Let me try this one again, but there's simply too much. I'm gonna go ahead and start in Saudi Arabia. Too much severity early on, not enough actual infectivity vectors, because most of these end up actually being kind of useless for a lot of DNA. So we'll go for the air transmission, and then I'm gonna try to stay on the down low a little bit longer, but I'm somewhat suspicious based on what I just saw there that we're gonna have the same stupid bug we had before, where I'm not actually going to be able to fully infect a country. But let's see. Okay, now we're in a much better position. I actually had to restart one more time, and this time I started in China instead of Saudi Arabia, because starting in a hot country makes you weaker in cold countries, and without any sort of cold resistance, that was just killing me. But by starting in China, which is neutral, at least we didn't have a penalty to any of the cold countries, though we don't have a boost to the hot countries either. So I'm hoping this ends up making the difference. We're gonna find out. An increase in lethality won't do me a whole lot of good right now. I still need a lot more infectivity. Could go for the specialized diet. Effective in the urban countries. I mean, maybe... what do we want? I think we're going to end up picking up the paranoia. That could lead to hallucinations, which greatly slows down the cure, which actually is going by still relatively quickly. Morocco is the only country we're currently missing. We actually just got it, so there's that. More severity will ultimately have more people working on the cure, but they're already mostly working on it anyway. So what I need to do now is start ramping up lethality pretty hard. We're going to go ahead and grab the specialized diet and the severe vitamin deficiency. Again, it's going to take some time for that to ramp up, so the effects will not be immediate. But hopefully it will slow things down at least a little bit. Are we spreading in Greenland? We are, but very slowly. This is going to be a problem, guys. Telling you right now, if we can't get cold resistance, it's really hard to make things work in places like Greenland. Really stinking hard, guys. Total organ failure. Do not want that yet. Increasing lethality, blah, blah, blah. Harder for the exorcism. Yeah, that works out well for me. Total brain death. Comprehensive replacement of brain cell DNA triggers massive immune response, leading to complete and irreversible loss of brain function. Very, very lethal. Don't want any of those, but... oh, religion is on the rise. What do you know? The cure is complete again. What the crud? It came out of nowhere. I'm not kidding. Something is happening where it, like, just suddenly decides that I'm dead. All right. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Hang on, I need to go back and review the footage. Aha! I'm not crazy. Okay, so something definitely is broken in this scenario because it was at 28%, then all of a sudden it boosts up to 100% because there was an event where people are turning to religion because they're afraid, right? Apparently it leads to immediate cure. So either this scenario is programmed in such a way that you have to maintain like severity below a certain point so that people never turn to religion, which basically means it's going to be very difficult to actually win this scenario given how much severity there is, or it's busted. Feature or a bug? Which do you think it is? I don't know. Whatever. All right, well, I'll kill as many as I can in the meantime, but yeah, we are going to lose the scenario here. And yeah, if it's broken like that, like I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep trying on it just to try and prove a point. For all I know, it's literally impossible to win. Well, that's just downright disappointing because I think this scenario actually had a lot of potential. There was a lot of good customization. It chose a theme and it was kind of sticking with it. I thought this scenario was actually working pretty well. Until it wasn't. Man, that really is an absolute bummer. I think this has the potential to be really good if the author does see this. I hope you keep working on it and you figure out what's going on there. Scale that back, dude. Like, that is way too much care progress. Or if you are going to do something like that, at least give the player a warning in the description in the very beginning that says, hey, warning, there's basically an automatic triggered fail condition if you get up to a certain point, so try to keep your severity low. Anything like that to give them some sense of what to do. Otherwise, it's just going to be frustrating. I don't know. Well, cool. All right, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if so, then I'm going to ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.